Welcome to UWS Weekly. My name is Jonathan Ward. I'm your host of the show. Excited for the events that have gone on as of late with UWS, but also talking a little bit today about what the future holds for the playoffs. So let's get you caught up on what is happening. So out west, Santa Clarita Blue Heat is going to represent the West in the national championship that's going to take place in Buffalo, who we will be talking with co-owner and founder of FC Buffalo, Nick Mendola, here in a second. In the Midwest, Indiana Union will be playing the winner of the Jaguars versus the Legends matchup that happens today at 1 p.m. Out in Michigan. In the East, we have Coppermine versus Hudson Valley tomorrow. We'll have Hudson Valley on the show later this evening. Steel City is going to take on Back Mountain for a opportunity to play either the Mutiny or Sporting Connecticut, who have a first round bye because they are the top two seeds of the playoffs. So Mutiny will play the lower remaining seed as they are the number one, being undefeated this season in UWS out east. FC Buffalo is going to receive an automatic bid for hosting the national championship this year. They finished the season off as the number 3 seed and will be having an opportunity to continue their quest for a national championship next weekend. So to talk a little bit more about FC Buffalo, let's welcome Nick Mendola. Good morning, Nick. How are you? Let's fix that. There we go. Good morning.
Nobody needs that.
Nick, how's everything going, man?
Man, really good. So excited about this. We've been speaking for a long time about, trying to have the national championship weekend here. But, we knew we had to handle our business in terms of how everyone sees how the Eastern Conference is broken down. But of course, there are, as anybody who's followed the league knows, kind of divisional pods there. And we knew we had to finish atop ours. And we waited literally to the last second, but got it done. And just so excited to show off our city and our region to the world, or to the soccer world.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. I know for me, it was my first time in Buffalo, first time kind of in New York, actually. And so I'm excited to be a part of this and represent kind of the West Coast, but also the league at this event. Tell us a little bit, what should people expect? Obviously, the venue is going to be amazing. What should people be looking forward to as it relates to not just the soccer, but the community that is in Buffalo?
I mean, great soccer city. Something that we've prided ourselves on for quite a long time. You mentioned the stadium. All High Stadium is a fantastic old venue. It served as Wrigley Field in the Robert Redford movie, The Natural. You've got covered seating, really good sight lines. For the most part, obviously being an older building, there are some spots you'll want to avoid, but just a really good place to see a game and a loud place to see a game. And hopefully we'll be able to play well on Friday and have our supporters bring the noise on both days. But it's also a great area for food. We're looking forward to hosting the teams for a great pregame meal. I know we always have when we went to the semifinals a couple of years ago, Joe set a standard for us at New England Mutiny and how you treat, finalists, how you treat teams and excellent athletes and people who care about the game. And so, from the food, everyone knows, I don't know that it'll be a pregame meal. It's a wing town around here. It's I'll be honest, it's a beer town. It's an everything town. And we like nothing less than to be able to show ourselves off. And if Niagara Falls being 15 minutes away and a couple of our sponsors making sure that teams that come here are going to get a great opportunity to see one of the wonders of the world. So we're buzzing for this, Jonathan.
In terms of the venue, talk us through All High and obviously being part of the movie, The Natural. What is the chemistry? What is the attachment? Obviously, you guys missed out on playing there. I believe it was last year. You started your first inaugural season in UWS playing there. What was the hiccup? Why go back now?
Look, the hiccup was they replaced the turf, and it just took a little bit longer to get things straightened out. For us, it was really important last year to make sure we were at the same venue for as long as possible. You want that continuity, and what is a tough season, but a compressed season. So having the opportunity again, it's nice to know that if there's a big game and there's rain, that people just have to bop up a few rows, within reason. It's a 5,000 seat place, and we're going to do our best to have as many people as possible there. It's just, it is when you walk in, the bricks, the names on the outside written in the cement of the high schools that existed when the stadium was first built well over 100 years ago. It has history. There's a gravitas to being there, and we think it's a great place for championship games.
In terms of the championship venue, Friday night, what can people expect from not just FC Buffalo, but from the scope of all the teams? Obviously, we have Blue Heat coming from the West Coast. We've got Union versus the winner of Jags and Legends tonight, and the East still up for grabs. We have 2 matches tomorrow, and then we have another match probably Friday or Saturday, depending on how they're able to schedule those matches, and then we head to Buffalo. What should people be expecting Friday night as it relates to some of that soccer?
I mean, whoever plays, excellent games. We know we have our work cut out for us. Just the teams in our division that we've played this year, we've seen some excellent players. Steel City would not surprise me to have them come out. We have played Copper Mine in the playoffs, and probably the best soccer game I've ever seen in person in my entire life. Where I think it was something like 3 goals in the last few minutes to force extra time, and goals in both periods of extra time. Big game for our captain, Chris Macatrona, that day. Same thing, thrilling win we had before that at New England Mutiny. We know what Joe does there. Santa Clarita, gee whiz. Their reputation for the players that they have and where those players go once their either careers are done or where they were before their careers, bring them back to the amateur level. The Jaguars won the whole thing last year, right? So if an Indiana team is able to knock them off, or the other Michigan team knocks them off, just think about it. The level is so high. We go into every game preparing, and I know our women's team, who I love for their passion, for their grit, for everything that they bring in. We go into every game knowing that in the East there's been a target in our back. Well, every team here is walking into these games both targeting and being targeted, and it should be, for lack of a better term, a brawl. I can't wait.
Is the coaching staff already looking forward to a particular team, or are they looking at film from all the teams who are currently active outside of the East? Obviously, in the Eastern Conference, who is who and what they do. But as it relates to the Indiana Union, the Jags, the Legends, and Blue Heat, is the coaching staff kind of looking forward to those matches, and how do they prepare for such a game?
The good news is in a few of those cases, we're going to get to watch a lot of games moving forward. But it's hard, right? Like there's a great advantage in being able to host. We're excited about that, but we don't have the advantage of know how the bracket's going to fall. You also don't necessarily know who is going to travel. And you don't know much of anything other than these excellent teams. So we also were in a situation where for a long period of time, we were keeping up on the teams that we were going to play in the East playoffs. So there's a regrouping that goes into this. So how our coaches, who I trust so much, and we have as deep a staff as we've ever had, and a leadership group of players who I'm sure will be, giving their input as well. We will be finding out with the rest of, the UWS faithful around the country. We'll be finding out along with them who's going to be bringing what kind of threat. But we got to focus on ourselves for now and get healthy. I want to send a shout out to our team. Yesterday, I want to say we've played something like 44 games as a women's side in UWS, and 43 of them had Chris Macatrona starting at forward. She's been conference MVP before. She's been all conference almost every year. And she only came on as a sub in the 90th minute yesterday. Danny Viss also missed out. A couple other players missed out. And for the girls to twice go down to a very, very good Steel City side and find answers, just immensely proud of them and putting us in a position to host. I mean, it's just a great. I'm still buzzing.
Yeah, you and I had talked a little bit on Friday after the Flower City game.
Yeah, that's the other thing. 2 games in 3 days,
2
which we've
games in 3 days.
never. Yeah, insane. And we
And to
had
have a
to.
2-2 draw, and to come back from deficits twice, I think that speaks volumes of the team, but also speaks a little bit to Steel City to be able to put you guys in that position and to be able to fight, because if they had lost that game, they don't make it to the playoffs.
I mean,
So
look
they had
out.
their own.
Yeah, look out for them right now, first of all, because they're already very, very good. But what Tomo has done at Steel City and their whole crew, I mean, Mary Kay before this year, just so many good people over there. We spent a lot of time in the men's side and the NPSL together. Both, I want to say, I think we came over a year before them for UWS, but they're one of those clubs that you would like to emulate. We're learning from them as we've just started to do some youth stuff. They are going to be good for years. They're playing a 17-year-old from their academy yesterday. The girls that they have are coming back from school every year even better. And just knowing on their men's side what they've done with Nikki Kolarek, who's an exceptional player, they're going to have these girls stick around, much like ours do. I mean, Tess Ford for us, Chris McCatrona, Danny Viss, Erin Weir's still in school, but she's been with us forever. I mean, I can go on and on and on. We wanted to start a women's team. I know Steel City's the same way. This is not a, hey, this is an extension of our academy and it always will be, just the best girls in college. No, this is trying to make the best women's team you can. And Steel City is going to be a force in for as long as they keep up the women's game. And I'm very proud of what they built. I really do. I know how good New England is. I know how good all these teams are. I mean, the first couple teams out of the playoffs are nasty. This is a brutal, brutal conference year in, year out. But it just wouldn't surprise me to see Steel City make a run.
Steel City, I think they can make a good run. They can make a deep run. It's just what happens next, right? If they are to potentially win their matchup against a very good Back Mountain team, they have either Mutiny or they have Sporting, both two very high quality teams that in a way Sporting kind of missed out last year. They had a lead in the national championship semifinal that they eventually lost. So they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and Mutiny hasn't been in this position for a while. In fact, they, as the host team a few years ago, missed out on the loss to you guys. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how Mutiny and Sporting prepare for those matchups as well.
Yeah, and look, the key there, and I think it's fair. It's a good advantage. You go 8-0 in your division in your pod, and 7-1. There should be a benefit. And the same way that we were nervous, I was nervous. I shouldn't say this. I don't know that our coaches were nervous, but I was anxious yesterday because Steel City had played Erie and beaten Erie, who's not a bad side, soundly on Tuesday. They had three. Yeah, more rest than us. Let's put it that way. We played Flower City, and they're a tough team to play as well when they're at their best. Especially a rivalry from just down the 90 here, or the thruway, highway, whatever you want to call it. For Steel City or any team, Back Mountain, whoever it is to win, Coppermine, to go to a team that's very good at their barn, sorry, I'm a hockey guy, and their building, and to play them with more used legs, if you will. It takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Well, I'm excited. July 19th through the 21st, Buffalo, New York. Buffalo FC Buffalo ready to play, and I think everybody else who's going to be there is going to be an exciting weekend of soccer, and I'm excited to be there as part of not just the UWS but the community of soccer who gets to witness the Summer of Soccer National Championship. So it should be a good one.
It's going to be awesome, and one other thing is, again, I mentioned the food. We are, now that we're greenlit, we've been working so hard to make sure that we put the stamp of Buffalo here on everything. And if you know anything from sports in Buffalo, you probably know of like the Bills Mafia. Now, we won't be putting anybody through tables, but we're going to make sure that you appreciate the passion that we bring to sports here. And man, Jonathan, just I know every club can say this in UWS, but the youth teams who have come out and been around our players and just the spirit, the camaraderie about that is something we're hoping to buzz right in. And I hope Friday is going to be electric. Hopefully we win, and Saturday is too. But Friday, the people coming early to see presumably the first game. I would imagine we would play second. I don't know yet. I'm just guessing. That's how it usually works with hosting scenarios. If it doesn't, whatever. But it's going to be electric, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see it, excited to be a part of it. And we will probably talk again next week, just as we get a build up to talk a little bit about matchups. Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, live from the Banshee, the 18th. So we'll have a little bit of a opportunity to talk soccer some more in person as opposed to teleconference.
Can't wait. It's been too long. Well, it's been 2 years, and that's too long.
It's been 2 years. That is too long. It is too long. Well, Nick, I appreciate everything, and let's connect next week. Talk a little bit about the national championship and some of the matchups we're going to see.
You got it. Thanks for having me, and
Awesome.
welcome to Buffalo.
It'll be fun. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate everything that this community does, and we will see you live from Buffalo next week, next Thursday. My goodness, it's already catching up. Join us tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, as we have Hudson Valley Crusaders on to talk a little bit about their matchup as it relates to the Summer of Soccer playoffs as they head to Copper Mine tomorrow. So until then, everybody, we'll talk later this evening. Thank you and have a good one.